HO Talk Show.
Here's what's on my mind, because we're in a very serious time, Razor. Serious time.
Okay, I got you.
This is election season, and even when I think about like some of our top headlines and news right now that the people even may want to talk about, the main thing to me, and I could have said this to Angelique earlier, because she said like, how are we feeling and like what's our hopes for the outcome after Tuesday, stuff like that. I want us to just take onus. I want us to take responsibility, accountability at the end of it all. Because, and stick with me, Max, but no Diddy. But even when I think about Sean Combs, I think about the fact on how we as a people, are jumping him, rightfully so in many regards. But
tearing him up.
Let's remember that this was a young black man who came into an industry of predators, right? So while he's wrong, Max, what I'm saying is, why as a people are we always like jumping on each other? And I kind of know the reason why, but I wanted to put that on the table because it's like it's the same reason why we have violence, like why we have inner city violence and like black on black crime and stuff like that, is because you will take out your pain and frustration on whoever you can. When you can't get to the source of pain and frustration, you're gonna take it out on whoever you can. So my point is, while he's wrong and while everybody else is wrong, we get used as the fall guy so many times, and we even see it locally if we're honest about it.
Yeah,
we will blame folks so that they become fall guys instead of getting to the root of the problem. Like when we look at an entertainment industry full of predators, and even the people who knew about it want to come out now. Why are you coming out now? Why didn't you come out before?
Do I remember you saying throw the book at R. Kelly?
That's what I gotta say.
Yeah. Throw the book at Diddy too. Don't miss my point.
Okay.
Throw the book at Diddy too.
Okay.
My point is that we let things spiral and get out of control, and we're so comfortable. And really, like, I didn't want to go that deep into it. My main point, because I'm connecting this even to the election, is that my main point is that we let things spiral and get out of control because we're so comfortable at taking it out on each other. And the reason that I feel like that's relatable is because even when we place this vote in this ballot, I feel like that at the end of it, we're going to be pointing fingers still and being like, well, this side does this and tells me I got to do this. Like, even if we look at conservatives and say, and they be talking about you shouldn't have abortion's bad. Well, guess what? If you take away a woman's health rights, if she don't want the baby, she gonna find a way to get rid of it, and it's gonna be an unhealthy way to get rid of it. Same, and then on the other side, the flip side, when we say, well, Democrats use black people and they give us too many crutches, they make us dependent on them. Well, guess what? That's still on us. That's still accountability. Because if my sister needs some social services, I want my sister to have social services. And just because somebody else may use it incorrectly or whatever the case is, I still got a sister that needs it. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when we vote and when we make choices, when we communicate with each other, I just want us to be accountable to ourselves. That's all. That's all.
So where do we start with the Diddy part?
I don't know. Like I just had a lot on my heart. I just wanted to share. I didn't go to testimonials before service. I didn't go to what they call it, Razor. I didn't go to.
You only went on the altar. They didn't take it to the altar.
Maybe I should have did that if I came in here today.
I mean, I feel like because you drew the correlation between current modern day politics and Diddy, I just have to say, though, I think, I don't know why, I can't speak to why we as a community will come against our own, in some cases, much harder than we will those who are not of our community. And it's maybe because we hold one another to a higher standard. Maybe it's because we are waiting for their demise. Maybe because they're more relatable. We know them by default as both of us being of Black ethnicity, and that makes it a little bit easier to attack them on certain things. I think that's true. That's true. Yeah. But nonetheless, it doesn't give anybody a pass or an excuse, right? And when you've done wrong, you have to face the consequences for that. In terms of this election, though, I don't think, once again, there's no short and sweet answer. And no matter how you cut it, we are not going to be happy no matter which candidate gets in there, and no matter what, we will definitely not be happy with every decision they make. I have found
I gotta
myself,
interject there. If a woman who identifies as black is a president, I'm gonna be happy with that.
Yeah, but that does not mean that you always agree with some of her decision making.
For sure.
Yeah. But I found myself in recent days, especially as we're approaching the election, thinking about what candidate is going to be best for this country and this world, right? Because I personally am sick and tired. And granted, who is the next president of the United States is not going to, snap their fingers, and all the racism and all the vitriol and all of the manipulation, all of the, fear mongering, all those different type of things that is not going to go away. But we as a society, man, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear what I'm talking about right now, but we got to do better. We do. Yeah. It's just that constant downward spiral. And so, I'm thinking about the morality of this country and the candidate that will be best to improve that. Well, the consciousness of the United States. I know Reza has a response that's,
speaking of morality and all that kind of stuff.
Opposite end.
We got a man, Reza, that has, like, I don't know how many felonies you got, but he got probably about 3 times.
He got more
at least 3 times.
Yeah.
And he about to have he has already had, and again, people are saying that he is qualified and to run the highest land in all of the world. And that's kind of the accountability and the responsibility that I'm talking about. It's like we come down so hard on each other and some people, but then we got the nerve to say that a man that says it's okay to grab women by the privates, like if you powerful enough, you can do it.
Yeah.
And a man who has almost 40 felonies, knowing we wouldn't get that chance.
Yeah.
So I don't care how much money he gonna keep in your pocket. At what point do we say, nah, you ain't it, bro? Maybe somebody with your policies, but a different person, then we'll vote for them in 4 years, but not you, bro.
I really honestly don't have anything to add to what you two were saying. Both very good points, honestly. And if I'm being honest, it's because when I don't see the benefit of something at this point, I'm slower to make my decision. You know what I'm saying? So when I say things and it upset people or it rub them the wrong way, make people feel uncomfortable, it's because it exists, And if we're talking about making changes in a society that changes up, like 1 minute they were fine with what this lovely lady was doing in her career, and then soon as she go to where she's going to be able to tell other people what to do, then they say, hey, she was locking up black men. You know what I'm saying? And we, some of us, bought into the fact of, hey, she was locking up black men when she was doing her job as a prosecutor. Well, that was her job, And then when it comes to, this person over here, before he ever ran for presidency, he said, I'd run for a Republican. I'd have stellar numbers, because he was saying, their prejudices are what lead their decisions. And I'm a businessman, so I'm going to run it as a businessman, not a politician. It's no different than, nobody said anything to Hugh Hefner. He was doing everything that Diddy was doing, in my humble opinion.
That's my point.
Just an older white man. So my vote, I am going to vote, right? But my vote is going to be based off of what I think I can survive and what I can do to better myself. I'm going to have a very selfish vote. Period, point blank. I'm not voting just because somebody's black. I'm not voting just because something helps my business. But I am going to have a selfish vote, because while I may not believe with everything that they say on each side, there's some things I really have a problem with from each side. So what can I live with? If the abortion thing, and this is going to be touchy. Women got a right to say what they want to do with their own body, 100%. But at the same time, a person bringing up the fact of, okay, yes, you have a right to do with your own body, but you also have a duty to be responsible with that body. So if you're out here throwing it in a circle and you don't want to deal with the next 18 years of a bad decision, then keep your legs closed, you know? But nobody's supposed to say anything like that, even though to me it's very obvious.
I think we can.
You know, no, I mean, we can. You got to deal with the repercussions of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the bigger picture that too, that like I always say, I think people get caught up on just the abortion part itself, because really, and this is part of also when it comes to
you mean the Roe versus Wade decision?
Yeah, more so what I'm getting at is like this is an example of the depth of having the wrong candidate or bad policies, because we look at so many things that could set Black and brown people back, like pre-civil rights. And also that includes women's health rights. So people talk about, would you agree with the majority of people will say, yeah, I'd rather not have an abortion and I'd rather people not have abortion. I think majority of people believe that part, but this is bigger though. When we talk about people and their rights, women's health rights, not just abortion rights, women's health rights.
What other health rights are on the table? Because all I hear them talk about is the abortion part.
Right. That's right. Because that's sort of like the lightning in the bottle topic. Like that's the hot topic. But really it's more about the doctors or the state or anybody else being able to tell you like what kind of health rights you have, like for your body, reproductive as a whole. Abortion is just one small part of it. Like, so this bill and what these people want to do is to say, like, the health professionals should be guided by some sort of moral compass, is what the far right evangelicals want to say. And instead of it being, no, the woman should be able to listen to her own body and make her own health choices. And abortion is just one part of that.
I want to make sure people know I'm not talking about like the rape and incest and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that.
That's just it though. But if you let them have their way,
right, they block
that won't matter.
Right. So that's the part that I'm saying when I'm dissecting what they believe in. The lines are blurred on every single thing that they do.
Right.
I understand. Everybody got excited. My sister was jogging down from the plane with a Converse on and, you know, looking cool and how I get all that, right? But after that, I have to live in this world and I have to make decisions, right? And based off of, you know, what you stood for, both candidates, what you stood for when you had the chance to do what you wanted to do, I look at that. Yeah. I pay more attention to that than I do what you tell me now.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah. And people have to like dig deep into where they get the information from too. You know, it's good and bad because of course, like we're part of the media engine and we try to do right by it. Like we try to be good stewards of it. But the fact of the matter is, man, it's like things can go viral online until it becomes truth. And that's scary. It's like you got so much misinformation nowadays. Everybody's an expert. Everybody with a keyboard is an expert.
Yeah. You
know, but Max, I know we got a guest coming too, but I wanted your take because out of all this political talk, like we said, people can go to cvilletomorrow.org to the voters guide and you can actually click on your county or town and dig in information, get all your voting rights info and make sure you know who's on the ballot, get educated about it. But besides like for our you know, President, U.S. Senate, which is Tim Kaine again, and against Hung Kao. Tim Kaine, of course, the incumbent Democrat, Hung Kao, new Republican. And like 7th district is Eugene Vindman versus Derek Anderson. But the one though, Max, that I want you to close on is the 5th district. So y'all had a young lady in here with y'all, none other than Black woman, Miss Gloria Witt. She's a Democratic candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives for the 5th district, going up against John McGuire. So we have Kamala, Black, you know, identifies as a Black woman. I'm gonna call her Black woman. I'm trying to be politically correct. Black woman Kamala. She got an Indian mom and a Jamaican father. She's Black. Look. Here's a test. People always want to say, "Well, what you mean? How is she?" Here's the test. Would she have been able to vote pre-civil rights? Nope. Would she have been a slave? Yep. So she Black. Let's get over that. All right. But Miss Gloria Witt in the 5th district. How did that, you know, because I actually wasn't here for that, but how did that interview go? And you as a Black woman, even sitting here, you know, across from her and talking and seeing these aspirations, and even on Kamala, you as a Black woman, I want to know how you feeling to see these two Black women taking you know, such power positions.
Right. Well, of course, it's monumental. When you think about the day-to-day life of a Black woman, I'm trying to make this sound good, but the day-to-day life of a Black woman can be very difficult, right? And that's whether we're talking about sexism or classism or racism or, you know, being a parent, managing a household, all of these different things. And that's not to take anything away from anyone else who's dealing with their own challenges on the day-to-day too. But being able to resonate with what it requires to be not just a Black woman, but a very strong Black woman to and survive, so to speak, in this world, is a lot. And then when you see these two very strong-willed, very intelligent Black women putting themselves in a position of leadership, and being able to step out on what they believe in, have that voice in the crowd that says, you know, this is my thought, this is my stance on this is wrong, this, you know, just not mincing words, but being very clear about this is who I am, and I'm not going to be swayed in that. It speaks to me, as it should many people. We don't always have good examples of what it means to be a Black woman, and all of that encompasses. And so, they are both great examples to me. But Miss Witt, because I was able to sit across from her and just hear her background and how she was raised, and you know, resonate with her in a lot of different ways, and hear her priorities, her values, right? And her not waver on those things. She's running off of some priorities that many people would say, this is going to be a tall feat. You know, you definitely got a hill to climb ahead of you. But what I gathered from her was, win or lose, I'm going to stand on what I stand on. And those are my beliefs. Yep. This is what it is. This is what it isn't. Take it or leave it. And I can live with losing, but I'm here, and I'm going to tell you. And while I have this space and this time, I'm going to put my lend my voice to the world, if you will. And so it means so much. It means so much. It helps Black women, and I think women in general, to understand that just what's possible, and that it always doesn't have to be the status quo. We don't always have to lead from behind, and it's okay to give your voice and then stand on that, no matter who's telling you that it might be that it's not your place or that it's incorrect. And, you know, I wish Miss Witt all the best. She's definitely prepared for this fight through life experiences, through, you know, just her desire to advocate and help the disenfranchised, but to make the 5th District and the United States a better place in general, because she sees the vitriol, she sees what these other candidates have to offer. She's watched how it has been, their decision making has been to a detriment of this district, this country, and she wants to change that. And so, and so I can walk behind that. There
you go. That sounds clear cut. Hey, I think you just got to work on Razor. Razor, where's your polling precinct? Now I'm gonna have to come up there like, he can't vote. Y'all check his ID. His wife got a picture of his ID. That ain't right. He can't vote.
That is funny. Nah, this is just, I mean, the basis of this show is, in my humble opinion, right? And the strength of the Black community was always our ability to coincide and give different points of view in order to overtake adversity, right? The second that we got to where people started telling us how we needed to vote, why we needed to vote this way, is when we got weak. A lot of what I say is just based off of getting people to think. I'm not telling you how to think, right? But the fact that if you're unwilling to open up Pandora's box on something, then you have to check yourself, because that is exactly how the enemy will come and defeat you later, because of what you're unwilling to discuss. So I know I may sound crazy with some of the stuff that I say, but really all I want everybody to do is take into account that there are things that exist that can be to your detriment if you're unwilling to discuss them. That's
right.
all.
Respect that. Ms. Max, you think we'll take us to a break? What do you think? We got time coming up.
You know, I think all any of us want, we're not asking for like a perfect world. We're not asking for a perfect candidate, a perfect president, but, you know, we want a harmonious one as best as possible, and some decision making that's not going to be to the detriment of certain groups of people.
Yeah. I don't look for harmony, though.
That's all that's at least all that I would like to have.
Yeah, I'm not looking for harmony. I know,
but we complain when we don't have it.
Well, no, let me explain. I didn't say I didn't want harmony. I don't look for harmony because I know that blessings and being able to grow comes out of a place of turmoil and tragedy, right? So I would much rather everything be on the table. Ask the tough questions, see people squirm because they don't want to discuss something, as opposed to, don't ask that white man this. Man, why you ask that sister that, man? You causing controversy. You know, like if it can't be tested and it can't be vetted, it can't be trusted in my world, right? So that's where I am with it. If you want me to put the lives of my children who cannot protect themselves in your hand and in your decision making, I'm going to ask you every question that I want to ask you. And if you have a problem with it, that's your answer too, right? So that's how I look at that thing. Yep. So it's not that I'm not looking for harmony. I'm looking for the truth. And once I get the truth, then I can decide what I want to do and what I can live with.
Well, I guess, you know, also at the end of the day, I have multiple answers to this. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I need to do to survive, what my family needs to do to survive. I'm going to take care of those that I need to take care of at the end of the day, no matter what the outcome is, right?
100%.
And I think a lot of people are viewing the election the same.
Just don't let the devil fool you. That's all I'm gonna say. That devil, don't let you can't trust him. Don't forget that part. That's what makes him a devil.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
don't let him use you, huh? Don't let him use you.